Alright, Team Undefeated, welcome back to the YouTube. We are down here today on Friday at Into Performance solo session, which means Mike's all by himself, which, as I've said before to you guys, I don't mind too much. I like to normally keep the pace up in these sessions, move fast, keep this moving more zoned in on the session. And because obviously the point is when you have people around you, like, you know, you've got Team Never Home behind us training there, and there's 4 or 5 guys around screaming at each other, pushing each other through. So that's, you don't need to be motivated yourself because the team's motivating you in the session. So when you're by yourself, it's easier to pull back a little bit without even knowing. So drop the intensity, don't push as hard because there's no one to keep you accountable. So I like to keep my breaks shorter when I'm training by myself to make sure I keep the intensity high. So I mindfully move through my session with a nice fast pace. I still keep the weight high, but move to a bit quicker. And like I said, for me, that works to keep my intensity higher. So posterior today, which means I'm gonna start off with some hamstrings. I'm gonna do some adductor, just to warm up the adductors. Then we'll do some calves, just 3 sets there. Then we'll go to a standing leg curl, single. We'll go to the RDL variation using the belt squat. Then we'll do a lying leg curl into the back, which will be a seated chest row, a pullover, and then a unilateral pull down using the Nautilus machine. So that's the setup for today. 2 sets on most exercises, no more. And move fast, intensity high, and light up the whole posterior. So big hamstrings, big glutes, big fucking back. In terms of this year, it's already the end of Feb. So we've been a little bit slower on the content to the start of the year, just due to obviously schedules not meeting up with Bayley spending more time up north with family and myself just getting through life down here. But no matter what, we haven't missed a beat. So, you know, where I'm standing at the moment is I'm about sort of 25-ish weeks out, maybe less. 20-ish weeks out of Chicago. And I've got about 3 more weeks left of pushing food. I'm stuck at 137, 137.5, almost 138. I'm stuck there. But you know, obviously I'm doing this, I'm not chasing weight. Although I want to hit a number, I'm not chasing weight. So I won't compromise, you know, the type of foods that I eat, the cleanness of the foods that I eat in my diet, just to hit a number. The number's there, it's just to chase something down, but it doesn't mean anything if I hit it or don't hit it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, food fatigue's really high. Most of my joints are really, really sore. I've just been carrying extra weight around. But 3 more weeks, and it'll come down. And, you know, really the most favorite part for me of all this process of bodybuilding is the first like 6 weeks of dieting, because food's not so low that you're starving, but it's lower, so you have more energy, believe it or not. Because food's lower, more energy, my performance in the gym goes up, so I'm able to train better, I'm able to move around better just in life, and I feel the best those first 6 weeks. Then the body fat hits a certain percentage, and then you feel shit. So it's like it's a small window for us bodybuilders to feel good. In between sort of, you know, the growing phase to the heavy dieting phase. Anyway, so I am looking forward to that. Shout out to Into Performance today for letting us train here. Thank you to Hisham and the crew. Keep an eye on all their stuff, on all their socials. They've got about $500,000 worth of equipment about to land with some of the Undefeated equipment. They're putting a posing room in. They're doing some upgrades with saunas and cold plunges, so taking their recovery to the next level as well. So keep an eye on their socials and get around Into Performance in Melbourne Park. It really is an amazing facility. Right, enough from me chatting. Let's get this session done. Moving on to calves. This is my favorite calf movement, incline calf raise. Notice my cues here is that I keep my knees slightly bent the whole time. I come down slow into the stretch. I hold the stretch for a second. I then contract out of the bottom. I don't bounce out of the bottom. I also do a double pump at the top just to make sure I'm getting as high as possible into the contraction. Just put a order in for the I think all up 200, 400, 800 pairs of shorts in 4 styles. So certainly my biggest order ever for merch, undefeated. It's scary when you do it because it's like, you guys wonder, will anyone buy it? You know, like, well, I just get stuck with all these boxes at home, but obviously it's where it's good to have booths and stuff at like season A, you know, after the shows, because you put the merch up there for sale as well. I feel like gym shorts and gym t-shirts and gym wear in general these days, it's got such a high turnover rate. Like people always, you know, as long as you're, you know, pretty competitively priced, you know, shorts for like $50 is pretty average these days. 50, 60 bucks. Good quality. Like we've got these nice polyester material, but I just custom blend with 4-way stretch, so it stretches 4 ways. They're just so comfy to wear. Again, I design all my clothes to suit me. Hopefully they suit everyone else. But I do have a really good eye for quality and a high standard, that's for sure. So I always say if it's good enough for me, it'll be fucking good enough for most people. Another cue here, guys, that I focus on is I try and turn my heels slightly out. So not too much, but just slightly out, so my toes are slightly in. I feel like it puts a bit more of a emphasis on the outside of the calf, trying to build that calf sweep. Alright, so guys, first hamstring movement, this standing Watson hamstring curl, unilateral, so we're going to do one side at a time. And I don't know why, I maxed the stack out, I add weight on, so the stack's not heavy enough for me, but I just really love the feeling that this one gives to me in terms of hamstring contraction. I feel it, I really enjoy it. One thing is, when you stand on the platform, stand as far forward as possible. If you've used this one, stand as far forward as possible. Because what that means is, when you lock this leg in, it's easy to keep this quad pushed against the pad. which is key. The minute that you start to have your leg and glute come off the pad while you're contracting, you're using other areas of the leg to lift the weight, hips, more glutes, and you're losing the isolation of the hamstring. So pressure forward into the pad, curl. My missus, Tunel, she hates these bands because she reckons they smell. I can't smell a thing. All right, so guys, we're going to an RDL here, variation, using the belt squat. So with RDLs, stiff leg deadlifts, whatever, the moment that I touch a barbell, in a Smith machine or a regular free weight barbell, all I feel is lower back. There must be something really fucked up with my cues, but the moment that their weight's out in front of me, I just find myself fighting that lower back the whole time. And it limits what I can lift, not by the hamstrings, just by how much the fucking lower back takes over. Dumbbells are okay, but dumbbells I have them sort of back here on the side, a bit of an angle. So I figure I just gotta try and keep that line of pull closer to my center of gravity, closer to my core. So with the belt squat, I can stand over it and make sure that I'm pulling almost directly over it, over the pulley. So much more comfortable for me. I'm still getting some lower back involvement, but I want that anyway. I want to work the erectors and show some detail in that lower back area from behind. But the moment that any movement, the pain prevents you from progressing the weight, there's so many other things to do with strength training. There's no point getting focused on, oh no, but I have to squat, or but I have to RDL with a barbell. You don't have to. You know, I think you should definitely try and find out why, which I am. I'm really convinced that it's got to do with my SI joint, my sacroiliac joint. And I'm researching ways to decompress the lower back all through the lumbar. But until I get to the bottom of it, I still want to be able to try and include some kind of, you know, loaded hip hinge in my program for all those said reasons. Bismillah. Up! Soon, okay?
Yeah.
Other way. I don't reckon I could have found anyone in this life who loves me more than T loves me. And like, I'm blessed. As much as it's a lot sometimes, I think anyone just wishes that in life, you know, to be loved. I kind of like it as well because get his own focus.
100%, man. Some people feel like they need somebody there to push them.
I just like to get
a dark place, man. I know you do too.
I got so many demons inside there. I need someone else. But I think that's it's like when you can do that, when you can use your demons for the right reasons, you're a better person out there, you know, because of that.
Man, I'm better with my kids. I'm more calm. You know?
100%. I often joke with my wife. She's like,
"Go to the gym."
When I first started training, she's like, "No, like don't go to the gym. Like, you know, stay with me. And she worked out that, hey, I was thinking, you're actually a better person when you go on the gym, so go. Yeah.
You're gonna be grumpy.
100%. I'm just talking with Scotty about one of the competitors, I won't say who, but from last season classic. He's got everything there. He's got the looks, good looking guy, great physique. He's classic, he looks classic physique. And when he walked out, just from standing there, I would have said he was the winner. Then I started posing. And it's one of those things where a lot of times, classic guys, they go too far with the classic thought of what poses are. So like when you hit a front double bicep, when you hit it like this, okay, classic guys might take it a bit further. You know, might do something more classic-esque. But then you had like this one guy hitting like totally, like, you know, like weird shots for a front double bicep. And it's like, when it comes to being compared in your muscle rounds on stage, symmetry and your poses, you've got to hit the pose, the one that makes you look good, that suits your physique, yes. The two, that is comparable to the others. Now, if you've got 4 guys up there who are close, and all 3 guys are hitting a pretty standard front double bicep, and they look good, you know, one guy who's like this, it's too hard to compare. It's like we can't even compare to the other 3. So you're doing yourself a disservice. What you need to nail before you start worrying about what fucking Lee Labrada or, you know, any of those Frank Zane, Colombo, any of those classic guys, what they were doing when they posed in their 3 rounds, before you worry about any of that shit, just so I can learn how to hit front double bicep and hold for 10 seconds. Side chest and hold for 10 seconds without moving, without breathing. Making sure everything's tight. When you can nail that, then move on to the other poses. And any artistic move, fucking performance you want to include, save that for your routine. Don't do it when you're being compared on stage. That's for your own benefit. I've never used this machine before, so I've got to try and find the weight for it. So moving on to back. We just finished with 2 sets of lying leg curl. Now RDLs take so much out of me, like all behind my glutes, hams, calves, even behind my knees, lower back, all feel just fucking lit up, almost pretty fatigued. So, moving on to a pullover machine. Pullover machines, a lot have these elbow pads. I never find the elbow pads comfortable myself, so I won't use these. But I grab in the top. Now the most important thing with the pullover machine is that I'm not using the elbow pads per se. I'm still concerned only with how far my elbows travel behind to stretch my lats, not my hands. So I come down, I'll squeeze, elbow, elbow, stretch, 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 squeeze down. Elbow, stretch, stretch, stretch. It's even sore sitting down. My hamstrings are pressure. So I'm really excited to compete again, to diet again. I feel like Dean and I have a really good game plan coming to this next show. In terms of how far out we'll start dieting, we'll start prepping, and how much time that leaves us to get into shape and to hold fullness, which is, I do believe, my biggest battle last time was me personally, number one, me being too concerned with my condition and sacrificing some fullness for that. And the second thing was being too long in condition. So I've been ready in almost Feb, and last show being in June, it's too long. So this time, we're gonna look to be ready a week before the show. So there won't be this prolonged period of having to hold shape or hold condition. And I think that'll set me up for a much better result when it comes to fullness on stage. Because bodybuilding isn't, condition wins, yes, but bodybuilding isn't just, as Milos Shashev, it's not strided glutes contest. It's not strided chest contest. It's not vacuum contest. It's bodybuilding. It's the mixture or combination of condition, fullness, hardness, dryness. It's a package you put on stage. So sometimes when you chase one too hard, you got to sacrifice these other areas. So for everyone is different. Sometimes you have to find, might be 95% condition, 94% fullness, 98% hardness, 92%. It's going to be very unlikely, unless you're a genetic freak, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, whatever, you can be 100, 100, 100. 100% condition, 100% fucking lean, 100% full, 100% hard, 100% dry. Almost impossible. But you can present the best package for you. So I think that's where experience comes in. Not just experience for yourself, but experience working with someone like myself and Dean. When you have that history together, it's like now we can chase this look. And we sort of have a much better understanding now as compared to what we did 4 years ago of what that looks like to get there. what the pathway there looks like. I hope that makes sense. Right fam, so done my 2 sets of pullovers onto a chest supported row. This is the prime seated row. I like this because I love the way I can load up the middle range and the way it feels engaged from start to finish of the rep. I also like the free handles. So I like how these, I'm able to move these where it feels really comfortable for me. It's not completely pronated, it's slightly angled. And I have that followed by elbow. Slightly higher elbows to target that mid to upper back, chest into the pad, and try not to use any lower back or leverage in the movement. Of course, being prime, you can obviously load the top or bottom end of the movement if you want to. I like it even the whole way. It's a really taxing session, this one. Told you those RDLs fucking just drain me. All right, fam, we are done for this Friday, posterior day down into performance. Good session, longer session than I thought, but those RDLs kicked my ass. And definitely slowed me down the rest of the session, making sure I could get my performance in. However, this is the first video of us back, and we have a whole heap of content lined up over the next 6 months, leading into my prep for the Chicago Pro. We'll be documenting that whole thing. We'll be documenting the opening of Undefeated that is happening very soon as well, so stay tuned. It's been a long road, but anything worth having requires patience, requires effort, requires work. So, but we're almost there. It's Undefeated Lifting Club opening soon, most likely in and around the Richmond Cremorne area. So stay tuned for that. As I said, more training. We will be doing a day in the life of. We will be doing a full day of eating before I stop my growing phase. And so we've got those lined up for you all. Thank you for commenting and suggesting. We are listening and we're aiming to bring you guys what you want. So keep the love coming, keep sharing, keep commenting, keep subscribing. I said I really appreciate all the love. It enables me to keep doing what I'm doing on a much larger level. You know, stay tuned for the app to be released as well very shortly. Stay tuned for the free, most accurate macro calculator you've ever seen to be released shortly as well. That'll be free on the Undefeated website. So we've got a whole bunch coming up. Really pumped. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Into Performance and the crew here for letting us film. Thank you to Bayley behind the lens, capturing magic. Until next time, guys, the Undefeated fam. Remember, we never lose, we win or we learn.